that we're going to start with. I'm going to hand over to Yi, who has a big team here, and he'll explain what's going on and show you some videos to start off.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm very glad to be here and talk to everyone today. And we are organize a very small team, but it's very good to represent to us of the school. We are from the Guangdong University of Technology and from the Design and Art department. So today we have a few speakers, including Xiaoying and the two speakers. Unfortunately, they are not be able to come over, but actually they're doing a lot of works with us, and I will going to show two of them, the speakers' video. One is from the Japan. He's a pioneer of the HCI, and he's going to do the first video presentation. And the second is our Associate Dean, Professor Tang. She's doing a lot of design work of the some of the game and the video stuff. So she also gave a video presentation today, and then Sean will give the other two talks. So firstly, I will play the Professor Tang presentation. Professor Ren.
Hi, good morning. I'm happy to present our thoughts on human-based computing, HEC encourages us to rethink the relationship between humans and computers. Thus, we provide a serious thoughts on the ideal future relationship between humans and technology. Our initial thoughts about human-engaged computing were presented in IEEE Computer Journal. A lot of researchers are talking about the relationship of the humans to computers and AI, but in most discussions, wisdom perspectives, thoughts, values, and themes dominate such that one could assume that Eastern insight and traditions have little or nothing to contribute. This HEC assumes a very wide view of humanity, uniquely seeking to enhance the human-computer interaction contributions to humanity as a whole by introducing Eastern insight, especially into the nature of the humanity and its relationship to cosmos. HEC therefore seeks to rediscover, enhance, and exploit human capabilities and potentials in synergistic think with augmenting technologies for the safe, well-being, and wise development of humanity in the wider environment beyond mere technology centricity. Why do we think in this way? The reason is that many research articles and books have shown that technology without essential directions of human meaning becomes instrumental to human well-being. and to the relevant technology itself, depleting their skills and even their interest in being skilled. We humans have made a lot of high takes, but in the same time, we are facing fundamental conflicts, which we call antibiotics in HEC. Not only human individuals, but the society, nations, world, and the whole humanity. So I would like to see the thin intellect biophysics model to expand the region of the antibiotics. The current technology is mainly designed and developed at biophysics and intellect levels, such as motor control, cognition perception, especially efficiency and so on. Little attention is given to thin, that is the inner capability. Thin in Chinese, that is the inner capabilities or capacities of humans. Human inner capabilities can be seen. Human skill potentials, metacognition, and soft skills that AI mimic but does not or cannot possess. We can imagine that if we infinitely develop technology at the biophysical level, human might automatically reach the state of polarization. One example is could be advanced warfare technologies. If we infinitely develop technology at the intellectual level, humans might automatically face alienation. One example is the potential for super intelligent AI to replace human roles. So how should we deal with this divergence? Our approach is to give due consideration to two systems. One is the thought system, one is the computing system. People usually like to see a concrete product or system. However, we need to aware that all products and systems are created through systems of thought. In the following slide, I will show a part of a thought system, and then we'll show our computing system. The key priority of HEC is to consider all development in the light of human survival and human flourishing. Contrast this with the atrophy of human and human potentials. We believe we can approach this by integrating multiple perspectives. From high-level thinking, such as Western philosophical and religious traditions by blood, Christianity, and Eastern thought traditions, such as Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism, to technical level thinking, such as current HCI issue that is mainly developed and for biophysics and intellect levels that tend to be developed without regarding to thin and the inner capability of the humans. Thus, we must shift the current paradigm to a new paradigm for HCI design with thin. Let's look at more East and Western thought in the book. Chinese scholar Yu mentioned the two words, outward transcendence and inward transcendence. For the enhancement of human capacities and capabilities, and perhaps for the very survival of the human race, we need to integrate outward transcendence and inward transcendence. Technology mainly has been developed under the Western thought, outward transcendence based on the Platonic idealism and the religious traditions. So technology could be seen as the extension of the human body and human rationality. By contrast, Eastern civilizations paid great attention to inward transcendence under the influence of the insight from Confucius, Buddhism, Taoism, and so on. HEC considers that integrating outward transcendence and inward transcendence is important for understanding and supporting the overall human experience in relation to the complete human nature, ideal state, and pertinent technological development. We need to integrate Eastern-Western thoughts to deal with human survival, and also with the survival of humans. Such integration would indicate clear human priorities that deal with birth, aging, illness, death, aspects of the human nature. Then we can design engaging technology with integrated values and affordance of the human theme. Then we may expect to vastly engage the humans with engaging technologies. Thus, synergism between the engaged humans and engaging technologies may be realized. As I mentioned, our approach is to establish the two systems. One is the thought system. I already mentioned the part of the thought system. I would like to use this slide, which show the potential computing system based on the thought system. You can see HCI, that is human computer interaction, 1.0 focus on the interaction, that is human biophysics central computing. HCI 2.0 focus on collaboration, knowledge database, that is human intellect central computing. And in the near future, we expect HCI 3. HEC, that is human central computing. Future research including AI, art, to understand the structure of the thing and its relationship with the intellect and the biophysics toward inward transcendence. Okay, let me summary HEC. Humanity faces many conflicting issues in technological development, anti-biases in human-computer engaging computing. These conflicts manifest in either individual, society, nations, and even globally. Technology at its best aim to integrate or eliminate problems. But when due consideration is not given to the meaning of the being human, technology has been found to diminish human significance and human fulfillment. So HEC provides a series of reflection and ideal relationship between human and technology in the future. Thus, HEC provides a top-level architecture for the ideal relationship between the humans and the technologies. A platform to bridge humanity and the technology fields. And the third one, HEC provides a fundamental, a foundational thought for promoting the future development of information technology. We believe if humans want to survive as humans, the 21st century should be the era of the HEC that understand and respect human sin. That is technology that enhance mental well-being, happiness, and finding one's best self. Meanwhile, we need to minimize the detrimental effects of the technology by due consideration of the human meaning and values. Our goal is to establish the research and the educational fields focused on the sin enhancement, where humans and technology jointly promote to innovate each other, creating a synergistic relationship with win-win effects, which we call synergism in HEC. So we expect human-engaged computing will produce new perspectives, new fields of research, new disciplines, and new investment opportunities. So thank you very much for your kind attention.
So actually, I just give some kind of support to be Professor Ren give us a lot of support to do the research based on the human engagement computing. And also we're doing a lot of workshop with him to do this kind of new feature of HCI. And also I think today our topic is focus on how to using the AI technology to help the people and the human to make more creative and supportive.
Our focus host,
Maybe.
So next, I will introduce the Professor Xiaoying Tang from also from our school. She's associate dean of the school, and she is doing lots of AIs to support the teaching and education. So I'm going to play his. She's video now.
Gentlemen. Hello, everyone. My name is Tang Xiaoying.
I'm from Guangzhou, China. I am a professor, doctoral supervisor, and vice dean of the School of Art and Design, Guangdong University of Technology. It is a great honor to be here to share some of my research and exploration with you. The title of my speech is The Artistic Revolution in the Age of Artificial Intelligence, Interactive Storytelling and Co-Creation Education. What I am going to share with you today, I will start from 3 aspects. First of all, let's start with a story. In 1970, Marcel Duchamp signed a finished urinal and named it Fountain, and sent it to an American art exhibition. He wanted to use fountain to insinuate the aesthetic painter Engel's painting of the same name, intended to subvert the artistic tradition of 600 years since the Renaissance. Very interesting thing is that in 2007, in a poll of British art world, Marcel Duchamp's Fountain beat Picasso and became the most influential art in the 20th century. In my opinion, the impact and revolution of AIGC technology on the art field are similar to the subversive influence of the urinal work on artistic concepts. For this reason, I led my team member Xiangshi to create an AIGC video work. Salute Duchamp. I'm going to show you the video. Please enjoy it.
Having tried to control and devise chance to serve your ends, do you think it's
This
something
is from
subconsciously
1917.
that the artist projects into the work?
This is an interview with the media after submitting his urinal. This is a live video from that time.
Divine brain, for example, could perfectly say, there's no chance, I know what's going to happen. You see, we don't know because we are now ignorant enough not to be able to detect what the chance is going to bring.
In 2024, we
It's
used
the idea that matters, not the production.
And we used AIGC
Every
technology
century
to
has a
create
new
virtual
definition of
image.
art, which means that there is no one definition that applies to every century. So if we accept the idea of not defining art, it's a reasonable concept. Acceptance and rejection are the same thing. I want to discover things that are all but irrelevant to the past.
This is a virtual image of Duchamp's urinal that we created using the Duchamp's urinal, and then we used AIGC to generate some new creations. Okay, let's take a look at that. AIGC. What kind of impact has AIGC brought to the art world? This is from 2018. A virtual portrait of a French nobleman generated by AIGC. It uses the technique of deep adversarial network GAN to learn and imitate 15,000 portraits from the 14th to the 20th century and finally generate them. The signature of the portrait reveals the virtual identity of the creator, the algorithmic model of the deep adversarial network GAN. The painting was sold for $430,000 at Christie's in 2018, becoming the first AI artwork to enter a major auction. In 2022, at an art fair in Colorado, USA, the digital artwork Théâtre des Opéras Spatiales won the first prize. The artwork was created through the artificial intelligence software Midjourney and was presented after nearly 900 iterations. It is a typical case of an AI artwork defeating human art. In April 2023, this work, The Electrician, won the Sony World Photography Award. But at the awards ceremony in London, the German photographer-author, he rushed to the stage and announced that his work was AI generated, and he refused to accept the award himself. October 2023, just 6 months later, the AI-generated photograph, A Friend in Need, won the first International AI Award at the Ballarat International Photo Biennale. So the awarding of this prize, in just 6 short months, people have recognized the work of AIGC-generated photographs. We know what kind of art form is photography. It is an art form mainly characterized by the real reflection of the real world. In the photography world, the acceptance of virtual AIGC photographs. This fully illustrates people's artistic concepts and cognition have been greatly subverted. Of course, in the face of the continuous development and innovation of technology, the subversion of ideas in the art world does not happen only today. 170 years ago, Charles Baudelaire, the father of modernism, criticized the technology of photography. He said that photography is the refuge of every wannabe painter who is not talented enough or too lazy to finish his studies. In the face of electronic technology, the artist Laurence Gartel, he said 40 years ago, a person may choose to ignore it or face the change with courage. Otherwise, the gods of time will also force all of us to adapt to this technological evolution. Which means, in fact, no matter what you choose, in the end, there is no choice. More than 100 years ago, the Baudelaire shouted out, "Painting is dead." Today, in the face of AIGC, is art dead? Of course, art won't disappear. But what is inescapable is that a new change is coming. It's a certainty. AIGC is content automatically generated by AI. It includes pictures, video, music, text, etc. It is like a magic brush. It opens up a whole new world of creativity. We wanted AI to do the dishes and clean the floor for us, so we could have time to pursue poetry in faraway places. But now AI is writing poems and painting. So where will we go? And that brings us to the second part. The second thing I want to share with you, a transformation. In the face of the advent of AIGC technology, the logic of art creation is also changing dramatically. Let's look at 2 cases. In 2017, NetEase Cloud Music moved the music reviews of users to the subway station. They selected 5,000 likes. From the 400 million reviews, and manually selected 85 comments on posters, which became a hot situation of online discussion and offline punching. So this advertising idea of utilizing UGC users to create the content, it can be said to have created a victory for NetEase Cloud Music exclusively. Also in 2017, on Thanksgiving Day, Durex's official microblog mentioned the brand Arrow Gummy. It uses this humorous method, flirt with 13 famous brands. We can see she was there the whole day at 10 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 o'clock in the afternoon. She kept going to at Dev's Chocolate, Jeets, Levi's Jeans, including Medea rice bags, Samsung vinegar, etc., Fiat watches and other famous brands. So the brands were giving also positive response. They also attracted the participation of netizens. And thus, BGC, professional content creation and UGC user content creation. And finally formed a common carnival situation. In 2024, our team did an experiment in which we put some of the old objects that are more than 20 years old on the internet and asked net friends to provide stories about these old objects. Unexpectedly, the response was very good. A lot of people responded. In just a few days, we received a lot of story descriptions about these old things. We selected 48 of these descriptions and used AIGC technology to generate old photos. To form this work, full of feelings and thoughts for home. To our relatives, the nostalgia and longing for the past. This is the overall effect of our exhibition. It can be said that it is full of missing. New artistic language logic. The most important change is who will create. The subject of creation was created by a single artist or professional, and now created by UGC, PGC, and AIGC, co-creation. The purpose of the creation, I think, is still the human life and co-creation. What to link them is the means of creation. As the technology constantly changes, the means of creation are actually constantly changing. I think this is our new era, a new artistic logic. So under the new artistic logic, where will art and design education go? This is the third part of my speech. In April this year, we made an attempt. We spent a month. We organized a group of 8 teachers. More than 30 students participated in a small workshop. We had to complete an exhibition in just 1 month's time. We had to complete an exhibition. Among the participants, half of the teachers and students had never been exposed to AIGC's technical tools. First of all, we start with the teachers defining the objectives and designing the content, and then invited the enterprise to join in. The enterprise brings us technology and application scenarios. On the other hand, we also trained 2 students to learn and master AI tools and AI skills, and they acted as technical supplement for collaboration. Then during the process, teachers control the ability and process index and make comprehensive evaluation. Finally, this all constituted a mode of co-creation education. In this experimental workshop, we completed more than 30 pieces of AIGC works, covering visual design, interactive design, illustration, fashion design, environmental design, etc. Our exhibition was very successful. These are some of the works of our team. I used the interactive narrative method to guide the students to create. This work is called Microorganisms, which is a jewelry design that reflects the relationship between microbes and people. This work is called Rebirth of the Water Lilies, an interactive work that combines Monet's artistic style with modern cities and lets the audience participate in the co-creation. This work is called Cloud into Flower, which is an immersive interactive design work created by combining 12 constellations with exclusive flowers for each of 12 months. In this exhibition, there are also works from other groups led by other teachers, including a variety of illustrations such as this one in ink and watercolor style, and some oil paintings, and some oil painting style illustrations like this one. There are also some illustrations of books like this one, and various styles of environmental and spatial design. For the reason of time, I'm not going to introduce them all, so I'll just give you a brief overview. For example, this is an environmental design for a Chinese art healing space. The last thing I want to say is, whether it's art or education, we're in a new era of change. So I'm going to conclude my speech with the words of this warrior who challenges traditional art and traditional aesthetics, Marcel Duchamp. Every century has a new definition of art or education. Acceptance and rejection are the same thing. Thank Thank you all. Thank you very much.
So I think we can see the Professor Tang gave a very brief to illustrate what we're going to use the AI technology for our teaching and education stuff. So actually, this special topic for this Chinese event, I think is more focused on the new technology, especially for the AI technology, how good to do with us for the education and also the creative teaching stuff. So after that, this I will give a short introduction of my work, which is also related to some teaching and digital media stuff. And also I'm thinking we are really want to have a more collaboration with the different peoples around the world, and also by using the AI technology together. So moment. Sharing. I do my best.
You're doing fantastic. Just checking. Okay.
Technology.
Yeah, just learning. All right. Okay. Today my topic is it's a West. Actually, every year have this kind of similar topic, but actually, as you know, we have very new, different content for this topic. This year, I'm going to see it's a creative collaboration based on the artificial intelligence technology, because we are going to use and learning how to make our works better and more effective. So I'm from the International Laboratory of the International Interaction Design. My major is more focused on the user experience and the interaction design. And also I'm running a future extension art lab, which is focused on the future art design and art format. So I'm going to introduce more kind of background what I'm doing. I'm doing some research work, definitely, and also I'm teaching in different university and different world. Also, I'm focused on to curate or organize some international art exhibition like EVA and also other international conference as well. And also I'm thinking we're doing a lot of research, paper writing and publication with the different institute and also educational department to make sure everyone can be happy to working on this kind of research and education. So as you know, you can see we are mainly focused on the creative and design, also the technology. Before I talk to more details, I think our school actually is a kind of a special, some special features. Like we very interested in the industry, campaign industry, and also education. Together, we really engage students to do some works with the company and also using the new technologies. So in our classrooms, the students can learn the AI technology by themselves. Also, we engage the student to cooperate with the different people, probably from industry or from the other educational institute, to working on their own projects. So our collaboration is kind of well structured based on the education and research. We have like interaction design area and also digital media production design and visual design stuff. So the level we including very variety like a PhD and also master and student underground students. And I as I mentioned, the project is very important for us to teaching based on what we're going to do with the industry, and also we want to campaign them with our education. The project-based means we also have some international academic partner like Sean, and also we have lots of international professors like Professor Ren, and also we would like to invite more people to join us. The industrial partner, I think every year we're looking for the new partners, and also if they have some new kind of thoughts and needs, we are really want to do some works for them. For our lab, I think we been using a lot of new technology, not only the AI technology, but like AR, VR, mix XR stuff. All kind of technology we're thinking is kind of engage people to explore their own creativity, and also finish or complete their own projects. So you can see we have a lot of different type of research, and also focus on the people's students, their own thinking and abilities. This is one example actually we've been doing. We're very the thinking about the culture is very important for our teaching and education. So we'll be working on some kind of culture projects, which called Guangcai Pavilions. So we've been doing lots of works like digital, make the artwork digitally to protect this kind of culture stuff, and also we build up the like a database for people to connect it with the different data by using our platform. So you can see what this look like. And also we're doing a lot of game design or some technology by using the technology to predict the culture stuff. The people can design their own like games or their own kind of a present like visual arts. So this is all built up in our workshop. Actually, working with Sean, we've been doing this kind of workshop almost 7 years, I think. So we generate a lot of works, and the students are very happy and enjoy learning. So this is the AR part. So the student can generate a lot of AR artworks, and also can do some immersive kind of artworks. And I can tell you is all this kind of work are using some part of the AR technology during their learning. So that means the students can learn much more than what they build up, just focus on the art or the technology, but they can also have the new thinking of how to using the AI technology. So this you can see the picture. This is the picture. Actually, I'm very happy to be here, be part of the EVA conference, and I think this year we also bring a lot of new students with their new artworks, and also I'm thinking we were really keen to move the EVA conference into EVA China or some days because we have lots of students that really want to join the conference, and our school are very supportive and helpful to do that. And thanks, and I'll keep touching with you guys, and I think today, the evening, we have Chinese evening, and I would like to have more conversation with all of you and to find out what we can do with that. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, great, thank you. I am going to be presenting from a web browser. So I guess I'll need to share the browser window. So asking Catherine.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And I can't see very clearly how to operate the PC. Okay, if you could just open the browser window for me, I'll do my introduction. I've made a lot of notes about the special window. Browser. Yeah, that's it. So let's share. So I'm only going to try and be fairly quick. I'd like to be able to ask a couple of questions. So I think while they're just sorting out the browser, I'll mention a few of my notes. So yes, I'm Sean Clark. I've been working with Yi and the team since 2017. I'm an international professor at Guangdong University of Technology. My interest is in teaching technical skills to artists and teaching art skills to technologists. I'd like to encourage that crossover between the two. And I have been developing a number of different areas of teaching, one which is predominantly about teaching software skills and analytical thinking, and the other which is more about hardware skills, microcontrollers and so on. And I'd like to report back on my most recent visit, which I've only been back a month or so, in which we integrated the use of AI into this teaching for the first time. Or at least I thought it was the first time. It turns out the students have been using it before without letting me know. But there we go, which is interesting. So I teach using a piece of software called Scratch, which is a visual programming environment. It's often used in education, and it's often used with very young people. And I teach young people, well, everyone's young it seems these days, but students and young people and so on. And I use the same, and adults, and I use the same technology, and I always tell them this is real programming. You're learning constructs and elements of programming through a visual language which you can take with you if you continue programming. However, what I'm teaching isn't really programming. Programming is a means to an end. What I try to teach, particularly in this Scratch course, is how to look at complex patterns, and we look at images, to deconstruct them to their simple parts, and then to rebuild those images. Now, in Chinese visual culture, there is a lot of geometry, there's a lot of sophisticated imagery, but often there's a lot of repetition, rotational symmetry, and so on within these images. So they're a great topic, or a great subject to look at deconstructing and reconstructing. So really, like I say, I use programming as a way of helping people learn that, but actually it's not about teaching programming. Programming is a means to an end. That's important, and I'll come back briefly to explain why. We also try to do we try to make sure that the work we do is very Chinese-centric. So while I do teach how, if you like, Western computer images are constructed, particularly I like to look at the 60s and 70s computer art work of George Neese, the sort of work that actually is in the Computer Arts Society collection at the V&A. I use those as a reference point, these plotter-based images. We also always come back to Chinese imagery, and any examples that we ask the student to produce, we try to encourage that they are done from a Chinese perspective. So, as I mentioned, I discovered that my previous workshop, which I did remotely last November, the students have been using AI without letting me know. And they were using AI to create their Scratch programs. Now, Scratch isn't complicated, and the thing I really like about it is you can flip between languages. So I can teach in English, and I can press a button, and my programs are now in Chinese, something you can't really do in classic procedural languages. But it turns out that students had discovered that you could use ChatGPT to write Scratch programs. And so I did notice in that last session that they seem to have made a lot of progress on their programming. I assumed it was my great teaching. But it turns out, maybe a little bit of teaching, but really they were using tools to help them create more sophisticated programs. Now, Yi said to me, for this course, can we look at integrating AI? And I personally, I'm very, very interested in AI, but I'm also very, very interested in ensuring that people have core underlying skills and don't delegate or think they can delegate their creativity to the AI. They need to be the creative entity when they're using the technology. So I said, okay, we can use the technology, use AI, and I'm not going to prescribe how they use it, but wherever they use it, I would like them to report back and tell me how it's being used, in part to teach me, because I was very interested to know that the students have been using this technology. I wasn't sure how they used it, so I wanted the students to teach me about how they would use AI in some tasks. Now, I'm going to show a couple of student projects. Excuse me. So, just to really illustrate the concept of this workshop, I'm just going to start with that one. So, what we asked the students, as well as doing the project, to do presentations throughout the course. And they work in groups and they take it in turns to present, and I think it gives them a bit of focus, particularly if I ask them to present in English. They don't always, because we've got great translation tools now, but it gives them focus and encourages them to think beyond just the output, to think about the process that they're going through when they're developing something. So this is one of the student presentations. So we asked them to look at Guangchai porcelain, because Guangchai porcelain, Canton porcelain, it's the sort of the international craft, if you like, from that city. Guangzhou, where GDT is based, was originally called Canton, and we've heard of Cantonese porcelain, we've heard of Cantonese culture, Cantonese food. So we asked them to do a little bit of research into Guangchai porcelain, and so this is the reporting back on their research, to get an idea of the sort of images, in this case, that the students were interested in. Now, my creative background is I'm particularly interested in generative images, and one thing I like about some of the Cantonese porcelain is that the images have a very generative feel. In fact, they are constructed using rules, but the rules are quite broad. They're not geometric rules as such. And so I now am asking them to report back on patterns. So they started using the AI in a very interesting way. They used the AI to help them deconstruct patterns that they'd found on the internet, to help understand how those patterns might be made of simple parts forming complex wholes. But they also then went through a process where they deconstructed the image. They asked the AI to produce a program that could create something similar. And when they produced that program, they then started modifying the program and adding materials or ideas to the project. So they looked at deconstructing something like a sort of a flower-like pattern. They then got AI to look at embellishing that pattern, make it more complex. So this was using a visual AI. But at the same time, they deconstructed the image. They also asked the AI to write a program to generate it. So this one's quite good. So I was surprised. I use AI, but everyone uses it differently, and I hadn't seen it being used in this way. So we have a visual AI here deconstructing this image to find its core elements, they called it reduced graph, and then to construct variations on that. I thought that was very interesting. They're using the AI here in a way that I hadn't prescribed. Likewise here, they're looking at patterns on Guangchai porcelain, identifying that element, those flower elements, very popular in Chinese design, looking for repeating parts, and again, using the AI to help pull those elements out. And then they prompt ChatGPT to generate scratch code. This is the scratch code here, which generates images in that style, and they were rather good. Well, not necessarily, I'm not saying they're photographic copies, they're not meant to be. What they're good at is identifying the elements and then reconstructing the image based around those elements. Now, I thought, that's good, but maybe they don't really understand the program. So I said, right, I can see that you've got a program here to construct a nice flower-like image. Add some variables, so that rather than having 6-way symmetry, give it 8-way symmetry. In fact, give it a slider bar, so you can give it any amount of symmetry. I felt that was a way of just checking to see if they could modify that program and have a degree of understanding. And yes, they could, this particular group, and they started creating some really lovely images here in Scratch, and even making them look like plates. And you see some of this imagery here is very reminiscent of early computer art, because the program here is actually doing something quite similar to a plotter. It's got a virtual pen. It's drawing a pattern, and the program, which is this bit on the side, is generating imagery. Okay, and then this was some of their results. So they're not meant to be real plates or pieces of porcelain, but they illustrate a degree of understanding of how to deconstruct the complex image on there. borders, central designs, and so on. Using these little slider bars here, they're able to generate an infinite number of different designs, different amounts of symmetry and repetition and size. And finally, they present this work as a poster as well. So they produce a big summary poster, and we've got some great posters. Now, I'm going to show a bit more of this work. In particular, I'm going to show the work they did with the microbit, the microcontroller, this evening as part of our China event, because I've got some great videos showing how they've gone through a process of designing some really lovely objects. And there were 6 groups, and all of them produced great work. In fact, I said to you, it was very hard trying to mark them, because I have to say every project was really good. Now, of course, I've been reflecting on that and thinking, well, you know, have they learned what I want them to learn? So, in fact, even when I was there, I felt I need to be asking questions. So I just made a few little notes here. First of all, I felt the students had developed much more sophisticated outputs than they would normally without the AI tools. Now, sophisticated output is one thing, but does that help them learn more? So when I queried them, asked them questions when they presented their work, I found most definitely they had a good understanding of the underlying principles, the idea of deconstructing images, writing programs to then reconstruct those images. And they were using the AI tools really to move them along quite quickly in terms of developing those skills. So I felt that the focus on the key learning outcomes works, and they had definitely been using AI to assist them, not AI to create. They're not cheating. They're not. I do say to them, you can use AI to make your work better, but don't use it to cheat. Thinking that they would. Of course, they didn't. They all used it as a way of making their work better, which really gave me a sort of an understanding that AI in art and design education can be used as a tool to improve the quality of people's work, not necessarily to get them all to produce generic work that lacks creativity. But one thing I have been keen on emphasising is that they should be using any of these tools critically. Now, in this case, the AI was generating code. They need to understand the code. I've tried to do that. Fair enough, but also looking at how they use AI elsewhere, I'm very keen on encouraging not to believe the AI is good just because it's an AI. So the outputs might look fantastic, certainly if we're generating some highly rendered outputs, but are they actually any good? And that's a whole area which maybe, again, I'll discuss this evening with some of the work that they've produced. So because I'm, I think, fairly short on time, I won't go through another example, but I think that does illustrate how we've started to integrate AI into the teaching. And I certainly think this is a very interesting area. And it's a credit to the students, actually, to you students, that their general literacy of AI tools is very high. They have a great deal of interest in these. So I didn't, in fact, I couldn't teach them how to use these tools to the level they're already using them, but they've taught them themselves. So another output, I suppose, is teaching people AI literacy, generally how to use these tools, and particularly how to use them in a critical way, I think will become increasingly important. And we're seeing that with the students in China. So I will take it for granted that the students know the basics of AI. I won't have to teach them that. Now, I can't always guarantee that is the case, so I'll work with Yi to ensure that when we work with student groups, we have a good distribution of skills. But I found it extremely interesting to begin the process of bringing these tools into our teaching. So that's really it for my bit. And I do have enough time. We have 10 minutes or so for some questions. So are we going to be joined live by... they are online. So I wonder how can I do that? So what do we have here? Do we have... oh, yes, we do. Great. So I made notes during the talk, and I'm sure there will be lots of other questions. Like I say, we've got a limited amount of time, but hopefully these are relevant to the sorts of things that people are thinking about now. So I would like to ask the panellists, the online panellists in particular, about this idea of human-centred HCI, human-centred design. And it's a big question. I don't know if it's possible to have a short answer. But how do we ensure that AI remains or is human-centred? So I wonder, could I ask... yeah, Professor Wren. Yeah. Professor Wren, I don't know if you were able to say a few words on that, given this is your area about human-centred, human-focused design. How do we ensure that AI remains human-centred, because it moves so quickly?
Yeah, hello. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I think there's good questions. But in the short time, I want to answer this question linked to the this topic, including the three professors' topic. I could not give example concrete or a concrete definition, but I want to emphasize we need to think about we should consider using the powerful tool AI to connect more people with art. Speakers, professor already show different work, including the inference. This is using the powerful AI, leverage the powerful AI to improve art education quality. But for the general public, for more people, we really need to think about how to enhance interactive experience that could help strengthen the connection between the art and the general public. Then that could be human central computing. Yeah.
So maybe one element of it is that literacy. In order for people to use AI effectively and to be aware of where it's being used, they need to be literate. General population need to have a degree of understanding of what AI is and how it can be used. Would you agree with that?
Sorry, I could not catch the
Really, what I was
question.
saying is, I wonder if part of this, keeping AI human focused, to ensure that people have an understanding of the technology and maybe a critical approach to it, so that the general public understand more about the technology when it's used, when it's effective, and when maybe it's less effective.
Yes, we need a fully leverage the AI, the powerful tool, to make a deep connection between the art and the general public. Yeah.
And I think art is a great way of actually helping people develop that literacy and understanding.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Okay, thank you. And then another question, which perhaps, well, is more geared towards, directed towards Professor Tang. So I saw your exhibition when I was last over, and I saw some great work. I was immediately taken by the Marcel Duchamp piece. And in case it wasn't clear to people here, the actual installation, the presentation of the work, involves lots of images, as well as the AI-generated video running on a small screen. It really is quite an impressive range of work. And it got me thinking, and I know this is the core idea of the work, about the connection between the idea of the ready-made, which is Marcel Duchamp's, one of his contributions, and the fountain, and AI. And it actually is a very interesting thing to think about. So I would like to ask Professor Tang, do you think AI, in many ways, is the sort of 21st century, the use of AI in art, is the sort of ready-made? So when you get something generated by an AI, Mid-Journey or whatever, are you effectively engaging with a ready-made? I know it's a generated ready-made, but you're taking something that you didn't necessarily create yourself, but calling it art. So hopefully then, I don't know if you want to say some words about that, the relationship between the ready-made and AI. I'm wondering about the translation. Are we going to... Someone's going to be translating, yeah. So maybe if you could have a little think and give us a thought on that, this relationship between ready-mades 100 years ago and AI image generation now.
汤院在吗？
我在。好，不好，我刚才我听到了，我 OK，我简单的回忆一下刚才那位 提问者说的这个问题，提到的是杜尚的这个创作，和 AI 的关系，是吧？我有点理解错。
对。然后呢，还有就是他说看了在21世纪有一个 Ready Made， 这个是就是您在 PPT 上面讲到的那个跟 AI 之间的一个联系。
什么跟 AI 之间的联系？
就是您在 PPT 上有讲到一些在21世纪的时候，那个在早些期间有一些
Yeah, I'm wondering, are we going to have a translation?
会有在就是之前就像已经说了，就是在 Ready Made 上面有一个专业的词，应该是就是跟 AI 之间有什么区别？就是你在 PPT 上以前那个艺术家像杜尚他们那个时候做的一些变化，跟现在 AI 的。
我刚刚听到就是他说是杜尚跟 AI 之间的联系是吧？他想确认这个东西是吧？
联系和区别，对，可以阐释一下这2个时代的一个联系。
我为什么会用杜尚的这个例子？主要是想要表达的是对艺术能力的
sorry，
刚
刚说话那边说话我没听见，您可以再说一下。
So maybe if you could give us a little summary in English.
Sorry, Sean, because Professor Tang is still talking, so we need to finish her talk so that I can translate it to everyone. Okay?
Finish.
Yep. 汤燕，您继续说吧。
OK， 好，那我想说的就是说，其实是一种观念，因为杜尚他对艺术界的一个重要的影响，主要是他在观念上的这样的一个那么他并不是说真的是建立起一个艺术，而是一个就是这种就是在观念上的一个突破，跟 AI 对艺术界的影响很相似。我是想表达这个意思。
So, hello everyone. Professor Tang mainly talk about Duchamp and the nowadays AI change. Why she mentioned Duchamp's art to compare to the AI recently is that because Duchamp has made great change to the traditional art in the concept of how to understand art. This is pretty similar to how we understand now AI to art. 我翻完了。
So maybe it'd be fair to say that the comparison in one way is about the profound nature of change, how we need to change how we think with the arrival. The ready-made allowed us to think differently about art, a whole new way of thinking about art. AI perhaps is doing something similar. It's in making us think very differently about art.
Yes. 上就说到总结了，就是那个 AI 和杜尚他们这2个的联系，更多也是激发我们现在人的一些创新的思维，是怎么样去改变和突破的，就跟您讲到的那个观念对，主要是这个理念和观念的这种突破传统的这种相似才有总结。
I think maybe we'll stop off with that point. I thought I have, and I noticed Brian Refn-Smith's over there. I'm looking forward to having a chat about this. Is I think there might be a more profound connection between them. The idea of the ready-made, maybe AI images are digital ready-mades. I need to think about it. I only saw this piece a month ago. Okay, for both our remote speakers, thank you very much for your presentations. I think we all found them interesting. I think there's so much more to discuss. So maybe this could be the topic of another event, or maybe it's our EVA24 might be focused around AI and art and design education. That would be very interesting. I also wanted to mention the Chinese evening that we have today, the social evening. That will be an opportunity to meet Yi and the team, but also any additional Chinese speakers from throughout the day. I hope they can make it, and they're more than welcome to have a little slot here to talk about their work or just generally mingle and talk about work. I will show some videos of the other work, side of the work I've been doing this evening as well, so I think there's some great work there. Okay, so I think that finishes our panel, just about on time, a little bit late, but I try not to overrun. I think it's been really interesting. Thank you very much for your contributions. Thank you as well, Yi. Always good fun to work with you. And I look forward to seeing the two of you remote next time I'm over. I hope everyone here found it a useful session. Thank you.